Hello everyone, it is Matt here from Scoop in Response. Today we are exploring another 7-point Highlander deck using no reserve list cards. If you're unfamiliar with the format, check out my previous videos which explain in a bit more detail. As usual, we'll be benefiting from a bonus point for not adding any reserve list cards, giving us a total of 8 points to work with. Additionally, the decks in this series have been designed with Australian Modern players in mind, providing brews that primarily use Modern legal cards, giving players a chance to sample the format without spending thousands of dollars on a deck. If there are some cards you don't have in your collection yet, or you're just looking to pick up some of the pieces for another format, head on over to mtgmate.com.au and use the code SCOOP at checkout for 5% off your order. Finally, you can find a link to the deck list in the description of this video. Today's brew is combining two archetypes well known to Modern and Legacy players. Our Bant control list takes all of the best permission and removal spells from the card pool and stacks it on top of some serious mana denial and land destruction. We've also got a pretty sweet deterministic combo in the deck, giving us a 1-card win button if the time is right. The goal of the deck is to control the pace of play and take advantage of our opponent overcommitting to the board and developing an overwhelming resource advantage by recurring cards or by winning on the spot with our deterministic combo. Our points configuration is as follows: Strip Mine, Caracas, Oko Thief of Crowns, Gifts Ungiven, Force of Will, and Balance. Strip Mine and Caracas play into the number of lands-based combos present in our deck. Force of Will, Balance, and Oko are premium control pieces, and Gifts Ungiven is a 1-card win button. The breakdown of the deck is as follows: 5 Planeswalkers, 6 creatures, 11 sorceries, 9 instants, 5 artifacts, and 24 lands. Additionally, our sideboard is pretty standard for a deck like ours, with one notable exception of Zerda. Always having access to a piece that's going to combo with Basalt Monolith is super relevant in a deck like this. We'll go into that in a bit more detail soon. So Gifts Ungiven is a bit of an infamous card within the 7-point Highlander community just because of its raw power. We don't usually read out the whole card for something like this, but it's really important to understand what this card does. Gifts Ungiven is a 3 and a blue. Search your library for up to 4 cards with different names and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards, put the chosen cards into your graveyard and the rest into your hand, then shuffle your library. So as well as a whole bunch of additional utility, Gifts Ungiven is a 1-card combo enabler and tutor. It creates piles of cards that your opponent has no choice but to give you a collection of cards that will result in you winning on the spot. The Breach combo, or Slush Puppy as it's referred to within the format, it uses LED, Brain Freeze, Underworld Breach, and Savine's Reclamation as the 4 cards that an opponent must separate into 2 piles, and the outcome will always result in access to the combo and the win. It's even more egregious as Gifts and Intuition are both instants. You can use the card on your opponent's end step and untap and win, seemingly from nowhere. Our combo isn't as powerful as we need a little bit more mana to access the full combo over the Breach, but our advantage is that our package only requires 1 pointed card. Typically, Underworld Breach will use 5 points as well as the ever-expensive LED to execute the combo. LED being a reserve list card means we couldn't actually include that in an 8-point deck as well. So our pile uses Kinnan, Bond of Prodigy, Magma Mine, Savine's Reclamation, and Basalt Monolith. The goal is reasonably straightforward. We use the combination of Kinnan and Basalt Monolith to generate infinite mana, which you pump into the Magma Mine, then sack to destroy the mine when you've put sufficient charge counters on it, killing your opponent. The clever part about this combo is that the Savine's Reclamation can be used to flash back and return 2 of the 3 pieces to the battlefield for 5 mana, so no matter which 2 cards you get given back, you'll be able to combo off. The downside is that the worst pile your opponent can give you requires 8 mana to execute overall, and the best requires 5. There's also plenty of scenarios where you can hide the combo from your opponent. If you have some of the cards in your hand already, for example, you might want to fake out a desire to destroy lands by getting Strip Mine and Loam into the pile when you only needed a Basalt Monolith, for example. Always having access to Zerda means you can bring the Monolith into play and use it to create other win condition scenarios with Retrofit a Foundry, Walking Ballista, and Khan the Great Creator. So when we think of balance, we probably think about the land destruction element to it more than anything else. But balance also represents a 2-mana board wipe in many situations, given we're playing barely any creatures. There are some extremely amazing high rolls to be had in our deck, with Flagstones of Trachea and Lotus Field playing into balance in a big way. Consider the upside of using Elvish Reclaimer on your 3rd land to bring in a Lotus Field before casting balance, leaving your opponent at 1 land and at 1 or 0 creatures. Balance also plays right into our 2 land recursion engines in Life from the Loam and Slogurk, with Slogurk enjoying a buff in the process. Force of Will is a free counterspell that's exactly what we need to protect our combo or stop our opponent's threats. There really isn't much more that can be said about this one. Oko Thief of Crowns is the bloco you love to hate. Banned in every format, he's the planeswalker that can quickly run away with the game. Capable of bricking a Blightsteel Colossus and feeding you every turn, he's perfect for sitting back and waiting it out. At 2 points, he's certainly not free, but you'll be surprised at how many decks just can't deal with a resolved Oko. If you like blowing up lands, then this is the card for you. Strip Mine was designed accidentally by Robert the Strip Minington when he tried to play -1 land on his turn. The result was Strip Mine being printed into Antiquities. Nowadays you can find it on the Vintage Restricted list, living an unassuming lifestyle. Strip Mine works great with Life from the Loam and Slogurk, and in a pinch it can be used as Savine's Reclamation for added effect. With Karakas we can protect our Kinnan, JVP and Zerda, as well as getting access to all the lands from the graveyard by bouncing Slogurk. Don't be fooled though, this card bounces everything from Ragavan to Emrakul and is a defensive powerhouse. For other notable cards, we've got counterspells, cantrips, and removal. We've also got some mana rocks and a Planeswalker's package. Karn in particular is another one-card win button with Mycosynth Lattice, but additional tutor targets such as an Ensnaring Bridge are a great way to stall a game until we can find our winning line. Our creatures all have specific purposes. JVP is a great defensive tool, Walking Ballista is fine for value or instant wins, Knight of the Reliquary, Reclaimer, and Slogurk all play into our lands package, and Kinnan is a key combo piece. For our sideboard plan, we've got more of the same. Bajuka Bog, Tormods and Soul Guide Lantern together may seem redundant, but accessing Graveyard Hate is super relevant. Typically I'd recommend leaving the Tormods in the side if you're keeping Karn in the main deck, so you can have access to a same turn 0-drop Graveyard Effect after you've played your Karn. A few more choice removal and protection pieces and a modest Karn board wrap up our sideboard. Our deck clocks in at $1,115 with $802 worth of modern legal cards. Additionally, quite a number of the non-modern legal cards are previously banned modern cards, so you may still have a Mycosynth Lattice or a Field of the Dead lying around, maybe even a whole playset with no home like I do. If this sounds like a familiar story, then what you can do is jump onto mtgmate.com.au, as they're always looking to buy cards from handsome/beautiful people like yourselves for all formats. Their buy list feature is super competitive and easy to use, so trading in your near mint cards for credit or cash is easy peasy. If you want to purchase some new cards though, you can use the code SCOOP when purchasing new cards from MTGMATE for 5% off your order. So the reserve list upgrades for this deck are similar to our previous deck's considerations. 3 dual lands and a Mox Diamond are the big pieces that we're missing out. The nature of our deck being so full of 1-point cards means we can probably trade down to 7 points without too much difficulty, aside from the cost to our wallet of course. That wraps up everything we're covering on this deck today. I really hope you enjoyed the video and the insight into the deck. So I can honestly say that if you enjoy Modern in Australia, 7-point Highlander ticks all of the boxes. It's an absolutely insane format, it's a Brewers format, and there are so many reasonable ways that you can jump into the format now without spending a boatload on lands. If what you've heard today sounds of interest, you can jump onto the Discord and the Facebook groups for 7-point Highlander and find out where you can play locally. Thanks very much and bye for now.